The orbital station Harmony 7 hung like a gleaming metallic spider in the void, its 8 massive arms extending from a central hub. Inside one of its research laboratories, Dr. Alex Reed examined the wounded creature sprawled across the examination table. "How's our guest doing?" Commander Talia Morgan asked, entering the lab. Alex sighed, running a hand through his disheveled hair. "Physically better. The plasma burns are healing, and the cybernetic implants seem to be integrating with its nervous system. But," he gestured at the restraints, "it's still highly aggressive." The creature, classified as Apex V7, was nearly 8 feet tall, with chitinous plating across its torso and limbs. Its face was a nightmare of mandibles and compound eyes that reflected the laboratory lights in fractured patterns. The Federation had encountered the Vrexians 3 standard years ago, and diplomatic relations had been difficult. "This is the first one we've captured alive," Talia noted. "Intelligence says they're pure predators. Their society is built on hunting prowess and dominance hierarchies." Alex nodded absently, reviewing medical scans. "The translator implant should be working. Let's try again." He approached the table cautiously. "Can you understand me?" The Vrexian's mandibles clicked. Rapidly, a sign Alex had learned indicated agitation. The translated voice emerged from the implant, low and grating. "Release. Hunt. Kill." "We rescued you from the derelict ship," Alex explained patiently for the 5th time. "Your wounds would have been fatal." "Death before capture," the creature hissed. "Release or kill," Talia sighed. "I have to report to Central Command. They want daily updates on our guest. See if you can make any progress." After she left, Alex continued his work, cataloging the Vrexian's unusual physiology. The creature watched his every move with predatory focus. 3 hours later, Alex was startled when the station's alarms blared. The overhead speakers announced, "Critical failure in Section 8. Emergency protocols activated. The laboratory's emergency systems engaged. Safety doors sealing." Alex glanced at the monitors. Section 8 was where the primary life support systems were housed, if those failed. A loud crack drew his attention back to the examination table. The Vrexian had broken one of its restraints and was working on the others, mandibles clicking in what Alex now recognized as something like satisfaction. Alex knew he should activate the security containment field, but hesitated. If life support failed, the Vrexian would die along with everyone else. Making a decision that would change the course of interspecies relations forever, Alex stepped forward and released the remaining restraints. The Vrexian moved with shocking speed, pinning Alex against the wall, razor-sharp foreclaws at his throat. "Why free prey?" it demanded, compound eyes reflecting Alex's terrified face. "Because if I don't fix the life support systems, we both die," Alex choked out. "And I can't do that with you restrained or fighting me." The creature's mandibles clicked, rapidly as it processed this information. After what seemed like an eternity, it stepped back. Lead. Fix. Survive. As they worked their way through the emergency corridors toward Section 8, Alex couldn't help but wonder if he'd made the biggest mistake of his short remaining life, or the first step towards something unprecedented between their species. The corridor to Section 8 was bathed in the crimson glow of emergency lighting. Alex moved as quickly as he dared, conscious of the Vrexian warrior following close behind. The station's artificial gravity fluctuated, causing them to momentarily float before slamming back to the floor. "Life support failing," the Vrexian observed, its translated voice oddly calm. "Yes, and we have about 20 minutes before oxygen levels become critical," Alex replied, consulting his wrist terminal. "I need to reach the main control hub." They rounded a corner to find their path blocked by twisted metal, the aftermath of some kind of explosion. Alex's heart sank. "We'll need to go around through the maintenance shafts." Without warning, the Vrexian seized Alex and lifted him bodily over the wreckage, then vaulted over it with surprising grace despite its massive form and recent injuries. Alex stumbled as he was set down, shocked by both the action and the realization that the alien could have easily killed him instead. "Faster this way," the Vrexian stated flatly. As they continued, Alex noticed the creature was favoring its right side. "Your wounds are reopening," he said, pointing to where a viscous blue fluid was seeping through the chitinous plating. The Vrexian's mandibles clicked dismissively. Survival first. Pain irrelevant. They reached a sealed door marked Life Support. Control! Alex punched in his access code, but the system was unresponsive. Damn it! The emergency lockdown has isolated these systems. The Vrexian examined the door, running clawed appendages along its seams. Weak points here and here. It indicated. Can breach. Wait! If you damage the door mechanisms, I might not be able to stabilize the systems once we're inside. The Vrexian stared at him, compound eyes unblinking. Alternative? Alex thought quickly. There's a maintenance panel. I can reroute power to the door circuits. He knelt and removed a wall panel, exposing a tangle of circuits and conduits. As he worked, he felt compelled to fill the tense silence. I'm Alex, by the way. Do you have a name? The Vrexian was silent so long Alex thought it might not answer. Finally it responded. Krastek. Hunter 3rd rank of Bloodhive. Well, Krastek, I'm trying to save both our lives here, so a little cooperation would go a long way. Krastek tilted its head, a gesture Alex couldn't interpret. Humans' weak bodies. Strong minds, different. The door slid open with a hydraulic hiss, revealing the control hub. Alex rushed to the main console, fingers flying across holographic interfaces. The primary coolant system has ruptured. That's what's causing the cascade failure. Krastek moved to a viewport, looking out at the station's exterior where maintenance drones were attempting repairs. Not accident, the Vrexian declared. Attack pattern. Alex glanced up. What? How do you know? Hunter. Recognize kill strategy. Krastek pointed to the pattern of damage visible outside. Targeted strikes. Precision. A cold dread settled in Alex's stomach as he worked. If Krastek was right, someone had deliberately sabotaged the station. But why? And who? The life support systems began to stabilize as Alex implemented emergency protocols. I've rerouted systems to bypass the damaged sections. That should hold until the repair drones can... The station shuddered violently, throwing them both against the wall. New alarms blared, and the computer announced, hull breach detected in sections 3 and 7. Emergency containment active. Krastek's mandibles clicked rapidly. More attacks, being hunted. Alex stared at the Vrexian, realization dawning. They're not after the station. They're after you. After me? Krastek's mandibles clicked in what Alex was beginning to recognize as confusion. Explain. Alex pulled up security feeds on the console. Several sections of the station showed only static. Look. Systematic attacks, but avoiding critical systems. They're not trying to destroy Harmony 7. They're creating chaos. He turned to face the Vrexian. Someone knows you're here and wants to extract you, or silence you. Krastek moved with sudden purpose toward a weapons locker on the wall, smashing the biometric lock with one powerful blow. The Vrexian selected a pulse rifle, checking it with practice deficiency. Whoa! Alex protested. You can't just... We'll defend, Krastek stated flatly. You saved Krastek. Now Krastek saves Human Nest. Before Alex could respond, his comm unit chirped. Commander Talia's voice came through, tinged with panic. Read, the Vrexian specimen has escaped. Security teams are down, and we have multiple hostiles boarding from... The transmission cut off with an ominous burst of static. We need to get to the command center, Alex said, moving toward the door. If hostiles are boarding, that's where the station's defenders will make their stand. Krastek blocked his path with one massive arm. Wrong strategy. Command center is trap. Too obvious. The Vrexian's compound eyes seemed to study Alex with new intensity. Trust Krastek. Hunter. Know how to survive being hunted. Against his better judgment, Alex nodded. Lead the way. They moved through the station's service corridors, avoiding the main passageways. Krastek moved with surprising stealth for such a large creature, teaching Alex to step precisely and minimize noise. Twice they froze as armed figures passed nearby, humanoid shapes in unmarked combat armor. Mercenaries, Krastek whispered. Not Vrexian, not Federation. Who then? Alex asked. Many enemies want Vrexian biotech. Krastek is valuable. They reached an observation deck overlooking the docking bay. Below, a sleek vessel had forced its way through the emergency barriers. More armored figures were disembarking, led by a tall figure in distinctive red-trimmed armor. Krastek's entire body tensed. Black-scale guild. Hunters who hunt hunters. Take trophies. Sell technology. Alex watched in horror as the mercenaries executed a group of station personnel who had been attempting to mount a defense. We have to help them. Too late, Krastek said, pulling Alex back from the viewport. Need strategy, not emotion. For the first time, Alex felt a flash of anger toward the alien. Those are my people dying down there. To his surprise, Krastek placed a clawed hand on his shoulder, an awkward gesture that nonetheless seemed meant to comfort. Understand hive bond, but cannot help dead nestmates by joining them. The sincerity in the translated voice gave Alex pause. What do you suggest then? Access station network. Send warning to other human nests, then reach escape vessels. Alex hesitated, then nodded. Using his access codes, he connected to a terminal and transmitted an emergency distress signal to nearby Federation outposts. As he worked, Krastek stood guard, the pulse rifle held ready. Why are you helping us? Alex finally asked the question that had been burning in his mind. I thought humans were just prey to your kind. Krastek's mandibles moved in what might have been the Vrexian equivalent of contemplation. You freed Predator. Could have let Krastek die. Showed respect. The aliens seemed to struggle with the concept. In Bloodhive, respect stronger than fear. Creates bond. Before Alex could respond, an explosion rocked the corridor outside. Krastek pushed Alex to the floor, shielding him with its armored body as debris rained down around them. They've found us, Alex whispered. Krastek rose, mandibles clicking in, what Alex now recognized as determination. Yes, now we hunt them. Hunt them? Alex echoed incredulously. There are at least a dozen heavily armed mercenaries out there. Krastek's mandibles clicked in what Alex was beginning to recognize as the Vrexian equivalent of a humorless laugh. Numbers irrelevant. Environment advantage ours. Alex watched as Krastek began gathering materials from around the room. Fragments of metal, components from a damaged console, chemicals from a maintenance kit. The Vrexian's dexterous claws worked with surprising precision. What are you doing? Making tools, Krastek replied. Hunters respect superior hunters. We'll teach humans to be feared. Despite his fear, Alex felt a chill of anticipation. He had been studying the Vrexian as a specimen, but now he was witnessing their legendary hunting prowess firsthand. Krastek had transformed from captive to ally with disorienting speed. They'll have thermal imaging, motion sensors, Alex began. Good technology, better tactics win. Krastek handed Alex a crude but effective-looking blade fashioned from station components. Can fight? Alex accepted the weapon uncertainly. Basic Federation defense training. I'm a scientist, not a soldier. Today, become warrior. Krastek's compound eyes fixed on Alex's. Follow. Learn. Survive. They slipped into the maintenance crawlways between decks. Krastek moved with fluid grace despite its bulk, teaching Alex non-verbal signals and showing him how to use the station's infrastructure as both cover and weapon. They set rudimentary traps along potential pursuit routes. Nothing lethal, Alex insisted, but enough to slow and disorient. At a junction, they paused as Krastek's head tilted, mandibles trembling slightly. 3 hunters approaching, 2 corridors away. Alex strained but heard nothing. How can you tell? Vibrations, air pressure changes, smell. Krastek indicated a ventilation shaft. Ambush position, you distract. I strike. Alex swallowed hard. Are you sure about this? Trust bond, Krastek replied simply. Minutes later, Alex's heart pounded as he deliberately made noise, drawing the mercenaries' attention while staying just out of sight. The sound of their pursuit was closing in when the overhead panel crashed down and Krastek descended like a nightmare from above. The battle was brief, brutal, and surprisingly non-lethal. Krastek disabled the mercenaries with precise strikes to pressure points Alex hadn't realized existed in humanoid anatomy. The Vrexian collected their weapons and communication devices, analyzing them quickly. Why didn't you kill them? Alex asked, surprised by the restraint. Krastek's mandibles moved in what might have been consideration. Human values life. Respecting allies' ways strengthens bond. The Vrexian paused. Also, prisoners have information. They secured the unconscious mercenaries and continued their methodical campaign through the station. Word of their resistance spread through the mercenaries' communication channels, creating confusion and fear. 2 more groups were neutralized through Krastek's ambush tactics and Alex's growing knowledge of the station's systems. You learn fast, Krastek observed after Alex successfully lured a mercenary squad into a section where the gravity could be selectively disabled. Good hunting instinct. Alex felt an unexpected pride at the compliment. Different kind of predator, I guess. Humans hunt with our minds as much as our bodies. As they moved toward the station's command center, Alex realized something had fundamentally changed. He no longer saw Krastek as an alien specimen or even a temporary ally of convenience. There was a growing respect, even trust, between them that transcended species. Krastek, Alex ventured during a brief rest. When this is over, what happens between our species? Between us? The Vrexian was silent for a long moment. Old ways changing. Bloodhive seeks new paths. Perhaps... Krastek's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. Perhaps Krastek and Alex Reed show new way. Their moment of connection was interrupted by a station-wide announcement in a cold, unfamiliar voice. Attention Harmony 7 personnel. Your command center has fallen. Surrender the Vrexian specimen and yourselves within 30 minutes, or we begin executing hostages. 9 hostages identified, Alex said, grimly, studying the security feed they'd accessed from a maintenance terminal. The command center was under mercenary control, with station personnel zip-tied and kneeling in a row. Krastek leaned in, compound eyes reflecting the horrific scene. Leader is Drak, known to Bloodhive, collects rare specimens. No honor. The mercenary leader, Drak, was unmistakable in his blood-red armor, casually pacing before the hostages with a high-powered disruptor pistol. His face remained hidden behind a featureless tactical mask. We need a plan, Alex muttered. I can't sacrifice those people, but I won't hand you over either. Krastek's mandibles clicked in what Alex now recognized as determination. Have strategy. Risky. Requires trust. As Krastek outlined the plan, Alex felt his stomach knot with anxiety. It was audacious, desperate, and relied on precise timing, but it might work. More importantly, it represented a true partnership between them, each contributing their unique strengths. Let's do it, Alex agreed finally. They worked quickly, preparing what they needed from the available resources. Alex reprogrammed his identification chip while Krastek modified the weapons they'd collected from the disabled mercenaries. Remember, Krastek said as they finished preparations. Appear defeated. Prey behavior. Alex nodded, trying to calm his racing heart. And you? Will be predator, Krastek replied simply. 28 minutes after the ultimatum, Alex stumbled into the command center with his hands raised. His lab coat was torn and stained with both his blood and Krastek's blue fluid. 2 mercenaries immediately trained weapons on him. Don't shoot, he called out. I have what you want. Drak turned from the hostages, head tilting. Where is the specimen? It's wounded, sedated in Medical Bay 6, Alex replied, his voice deliberately shaky. I'm Dr. Reed, the xenobiologist. I've been studying it. I can help you transport it safely. Drak approached, scanning Alex with a handheld device. Your credentials check out, Doctor. Wise decision. He gestured to 2 mercenaries. Escort the doctor to retrieve our prize. Kill him if there's any deception. As Alex was marched out, he heard Drak add, And Doctor, we know the Vrexian's value. If it's damaged beyond recovery, I'll personally ensure your colleagues die slowly. The walk to Medical Base 6 was tense, with Alex making nervous small talk that disguised the fact that he was counting steps and intersections. When they reached the right position, he stumbled deliberately, dropping to one knee. Get up, one mercenary snarled, grabbing his arm. Sorry, Alex mumbled, pressing his palm against the wall panel as he rose, activating the modified access code he'd prepared. Instantly, the corridor section sealed and the artificial gravity reversed. The mercenaries, unprepared, slammed into the ceiling while Alex, who had braced himself, controlled his ascent with a magnetic tether concealed in his sleeve. Before they could recover, maintenance hatches on both sides of the corridor opened, and Krastek attacked from the darkness, moving with lethal precision in the zero-gravity environment that seemed to present no challenge to the Vrexian warrior. Minutes later, Alex and Krastek had donned the mercenaries' tactical gear, a tight fit for the Vrexian, and were proceeding with Phase 2 of their plan. "Command, this is Team 3, Alex spoke into the stolen communicator. "Specimen secured and sedated, returning now with the doctor." "Acknowledged, Team 3, came the reply. "Drac wants it brought directly to the extraction ship." As they approached the command center, Krastek whispered, "Federation reinforcements?" Alex checked his wrist terminal. "Still 40 minutes out at best. We're on our own." Krastek's mandibles clicked softly beneath the tactical helmet. "Not alone. Have bond." For the first time since the crisis began, Alex felt a surge of something beyond fear, a strange, fierce confidence. Human and Vrexian, they had formed a partnership that neither species would have thought possible. As they prepared to execute the final, most dangerous phase of their plan, Alex realized that regardless of the outcome, something unprecedented and important had begun between their peoples. The mercenaries' transport ship dominated the docking bay, a predatory craft, with sleek, aggressive lines. Alex and Krastek, still disguised in mercenary gear, approached the boarding ramp with practiced nonchalance. Krastek's bulky form was barely contained by the stolen armor, but in the chaos of the station takeover, the disguises held. "Team 3. With package for immediate extraction," Alex announced to the guards, gesturing to the sealed stasis pod they had liberated from medical storage. Its small viewport revealed only darkness within. The guards exchanged glances. "Drac wants the specimen and the science team on the command deck. Change of plans," Alex replied smoothly. "Specimen showing signs of consciousness. Drac ordered immediate cryo-containment on the ship." After a moment's hesitation, the guards stepped aside. As they entered the vessel, Alex felt his pulse quicken. The most dangerous part of their plan was now in motion. The ship's interior was utilitarian, but advanced. A mercenary vessel built for efficiency and speed. They located the cargo bay and sealed themselves inside, quickly removing their disguises. 14 minutes until Drac expects confirmation," Alex whispered, connecting his modified terminal to the ship's systems. "Can you access their weapons locker?" Krastek moved to a secured compartment, mandibles working as the Vrexians studied the lock. Simple design. Overconfident prey. While Alex hacked into the ship's operational systems using backdoor codes he'd decrypted from the mercenaries' communications, Krastek retrieved weapons and equipment. The stasis pod remained untouched, its contents their secret advantage. "Ship. Systems accessed," Alex announced. "I've got control of internal doors and life support, but not engines or weapons. They're on a separate network," Krastek clicked approvingly. "Good hunting. Next phase?" Alex initiated a series of commands. Throughout the ship, compartment doors began cycling open and closed in random patterns, accompanied by fluctuating lights and environmental alarms. "Confusion first," Alex explained. Then, his words were cut off as the ship's internal communications activated. "All units, security breach on transport. The Vrexian is aboard. Lock down and converge." Krastek handed Alex a mercenary pulse rifle. "Now we fight." But instead of opening the cargo bay doors to confront their enemies, Alex grinned. "Now we wait." The sounds of mercenaries rushing through the ship echoed through the hull. Orders were shouted, contradicted, and countermanded as the false alarms and malfunctioning doors created chaos. And through it all, Alex continued his work on the terminal, methodically locking down sections of the ship. "Herding strategy," Krastek observed with what sounded like approval. "Using prey's fear against them." "Exactly," Alex nodded. And now, he activated the final sequence. Throughout the isolated sections of the ship, the atmospheric composition began to change, introducing a mild sedative gas he'd found in the medical inventory. "Non-lethal," he assured Krastek. "Just enough to incapacitate." The Vrexian's mandibles clicked in what Alex now understood as amusement. Humans. So merciful. Effective still. As the mercenaries succumbed to the sedative, Alex and Krastek moved through the ship, securing prisoners. They were collecting weapons when Alex's terminal alerted him to an incoming transmission from the station. "Read!" It was Commander Talia's voice. "Whatever you're doing on that ship, stop! Drac is executing hostages." Alex's blood ran cold as he accessed the station's security feeds. In the command center, Drac stood with his disruptor aimed at a kneeling crew member, rage evident even through his tactical mask. 30 seconds, Drac's voice came through clearly. "Return my ship or the executions begin." Krastek moved beside Alex, compound eyes reflecting the grim scene. "Time for final phase." Alex nodded, swallowing hard. "It's all or nothing now." He opened a channel to the station. "Drac, this is Dr. Reed." The mercenary leader turned toward the communication screen. "Doctor, I underestimated you. A mistake I won't repeat. Release the hostages and you can have your ship back," Alex said, forcing confidence into his voice. Drac laughed coldly. "You've proven resourceful, but you're still a scientist playing at being a warrior. I've conquered a dozen outposts like this one. You have 10 seconds to surrender." Alex glanced at Krastek, who nodded once. "Actually," Alex replied, "I'm not alone. And you've made a fundamental error." "What error?" Drac snarled. "You've been hunting the wrong predator." Alex nodded to Krastek, who activated the release mechanism on the stasis pod. The pod hissed open, revealing not a sedated prisoner, but an array of communication equipment, the source of their override signals to the station's systems. And behind, Drac, visible on the security feed, the maintenance access panel in the command center wall slid open silently. "What is this?" Drac demanded, unaware of the danger behind him. "Distraction," Alex replied simply. From the darkness of the access tunnel emerged a second Krastek, or rather the real Krastek. The one beside Alex removed its helmet, revealing a holographic disguise over a mechanical frame, one of the station's maintenance drones repurposed and controlled remotely. On screen, chaos erupted in the command center as Krastek attacked with precise, overwhelming force. Drac barely had time to turn before the Vrexian was upon him, disarming him with a move so fast it blurred on the video feed. "I told you," Alex said to the empty air as the communication cut out. "You were hunting the wrong predator." 3 weeks later, Alex stood at the observation deck of Harmony 7, watching as Federation diplomatic vessels prepared to dock alongside a Vrexian hive ship. The massive, organic-looking craft dwarfed even the largest Federation cruiser, its chitinous exterior, reflecting starlight in iridescent patterns. "Nervous?" Commander Talia asked, joining him at the viewport. "A little," Alex admitted. "First official diplomatic contact between our species. Hard not to be." The station had been fully repaired, all traces of the mercenary attack erased, except in the memories of those who had survived it. Drac and his mercenaries were in Federation custody, their operation exposed as part of a larger syndicate trading in exotic biological weapons. "Your report has been transmitted to every major Federation outpost," Talia said. "What you and Krastek accomplished is being called a turning point in interspecies relations." Alex smiled faintly. "We just tried to survive." "You did more than that," she countered. "You proved cooperation is possible with a species we'd written off as simply predatory. The xenobiologists are rewriting their assessment of Vrexian psychology, and Federation Command is reconsidering their entire diplomatic approach." A chime from the communication panel interrupted them. "The Vrexian delegation has docked," announced a voice. "Escort team to Airlock 7. As they walked to meet the delegation, Alex reflected on the events that had led to this moment. After subduing Drac and freeing the hostages, Krastek had used the mercenaries' own communication equipment to contact the Blood Hive. The message he sent, transmitted in full view of Federation personnel, had been unexpected. An account of human ingenuity, courage, and a different kind of strength than Vrexians had previously recognized. The airlock cycled open, revealing a delegation of 5 Vrexians. 4 were warriors, similar to Krastek, but with more elaborate armor bearing clan markings. The 5th was different, smaller, but with more intricate chitin patterns that seemed to denote status, and at their center stood Krastek. Dr. Alex Reed. The translator implant converted the lead Vrexian's clicks and whistles. "I am Hive Speaker Vorex. Krastek Hunter has told our council of your bond." Alex stepped forward, performing the greeting gesture Krastek had taught him. Arms open, head slightly bowed, exposing the vulnerability of his throat in a show of trust. Harmony 7 welcomes the Bloodhive delegation. Vorex's mandibles moved, in what Alex now recognized as surprise. "You know our ways." "I had a good teacher," Alex replied, glancing at Krastek. The formal introductions continued, followed by the delegation's movement to the conference room, where Federation representatives waited. As they walked, Krastek fell into step beside Alex. "Your wounds have healed well," Alex observed. The Rexians, Chiton now bore new markings. Honor scars, Krastek had called them. "Yes. Given new rank. Storykeeper now, not just hunter." Krastek's translator conveyed what might have been pride. "First to tell Hive of human strength." "And you?" Alex asked. "Are you staying with the delegation?" Krastek's mandibles clicked. In what Alex had learned was amusement. "No. Have new assignment, if humans agree." Before Alex could ask for clarification, they reached the conference room. The diplomatic proceedings were formal but groundbreaking, the first mutual recognition treaty between humankind and the Rexian hives. Multiple times, the Federation representatives referred to the Reed-Krastek incident as evidence of possibilities for cooperation. After the initial agreements were signed, Hive Speaker Vorex approached Alex privately. "Krastek has requested unusual assignment. Wishes to remain on Harmony 7 as First Blood Hive envoy." Alex couldn't hide his surprise. "That's unprecedented, isn't it?" "Yes. But Blood Hive values successful hunting strategies. Old ways failed. New bond with humans offers possibilities." Vorex's compound eyes studied Alex intently. "Krastek says you understand predators. Says humans are predators. Of different kind. Fascinating concept." Later, as the formal reception wound down, Alex found Krastek at the same observation deck where everything had begun weeks earlier. "So, you're staying," Alex said, joining the Rexian and gazing out at the stars. "Yes. Much to learn. Much to teach." Krastek turned to face him. "Bloodhive has existed 10,000 years. Never bonded with other species. Always hunted or been hunted. And now? Now. New hunt begins. For understanding." Krastek's mandibles clicked softly. "Started with kindness to predator. Unusual. Strategy." Alex smiled. "Sometimes the best strategies are the unexpected ones." As they stood side by side, human scientist and Rexian warrior, looking out at the vastness of space, both knew they were at the beginning of something profound. What had started as an act of mercy toward a wounded predator had evolved into a bond that could transform the relationship between their species forever. In the darkness between stars, new possibilities awaited.